Goulburn North Public School on the left-hand side here, one of the 7 primary schools, public primary schools in Goulburn. About 5-6 years ago, maybe a bit longer, I'm not exactly sure, the roads and traffic people, or whatever they're called these days, decided that they needed to redesign the intersection here between the Sydney Road and Union Street, which is this road we're on here. Sydney Road is the coming to a 4-way intersection, and the Sydney Road, you go right towards Sydney, as you can see, or right on Lagoon Street towards Goulburn, and left on the Sydney Road towards Sydney. The traffic authorities decided they would redesign the intersection here, allegedly to cut down, to reduce the risk to children coming out of school having to cross the road here. Those who would have crossed at this intersection here and go straight ahead, or cross on the other side of Lagoon Street somewhere. And so they decided they'd reorganise this intersection, and they did some fiddling around, and it cost something like $850,000 to do what they did, and it created an enormous traffic jam, whereas before that the traffic seemed to flow reasonably freely. I hadn't, in the nearly 50 years that I've lived in Goulburn, heard of any accidents in front of this school with children crossing the road, because I assumed that either there were lollipop people, like there was back there, who supervised the crossings, or the traffic lights were in operation and clear about when it was safe for children to cross and so forth, or that teachers were put on duty here to assist children to safely cross at the various points that they needed to cross the road. It appeared to be one of those times that government authorities, be they local, state or federal, but in this case it was the state government, decided there was a solution to a problem that didn't appear to exist. Now, I acknowledge that there is more traffic than there was 10-15 years ago. That's a feature of just about every town in Australia now, more traffic everywhere. But in any case, as I say, it was a solution in search of a problem. So I'm going to go out of town a short distance. Just while I'm giving you the 50-cent tour. This is the Goulburn North East Industrial Precinct, apparently, or Enterprise Precinct, I beg your pardon, where there has been some work being done recently on roadworks. About a couple of 100 metres up the road there, another solution in search of a problem, with the local council being responsible for, I guess on behalf of the state government, building a roundabout that probably cost close to $1 million. And took months to build, so that people who could already turn into the fast food restaurant just up on the corner there. Now had a roundabout to be able to turn into the fast food restaurant. And I'm sure that there are people who know more about what's coming into Goulburn and what developments there are likely to be in this north-east enterprise precinct than I do. So maybe in the future there will be lots more enterprises and so forth out there, and the state traffic authority, Goulburn Marwari Council, will prove to be prescient and foreseen that and said, well, we built the roundabout well before we needed it, and we're so glad that we did. I like the back of Rocky Hill. Now, if you're not a local, when you come into Goulburn, you can see the lighthouse on the top of the hill here. That hill is called Rocky Hill, and I'm at the back of it now. The lighthouse is part of the Goulburn War Memorial. It is possible to go to the top of the lighthouse and look out over Goulburn, particularly to the west, and you get a pretty stunning view. And on a clear day, you can see out to the wind farm turbines that are out, well out on the Football Road. So this is the back of that, and sort of semi-scrubland. Semi-bushland, some residential. At the top of this hill you can see there's a four-way intersection. I'm going to turn left and go around the back of this hill as well. See the sign up here that says War Memorial and a Scenic Lookout. Talk about the state of the roads and things like that, where there are markings and no markings, and pickets and so on. Obviously it's a question of priorities and use. A road that gets lots of traffic deserves to have a lot more attention to it in terms of safety features than a road that has less use or little use. Now, you would assume, based on the fact there are no markings, there are no pickets, and shoulders on the road here is very uneven, that the usage would be minimal. I don't have any information about that. I'm just making that assumption based on how much attention has been paid to this road, how much time and effort and money has been spent on repairs. You get a pretty good view from up here. That would be the sort of southerly view of Goulburn. I'm not sure how well you can see, but on the right-hand side down below there is the highway bypass that goes around Goulburn. going to go left here. This is the Bungonia Road. It's called that because this is Bungonia, which is a village about 30 odd kilometres away. We're going east at the moment. I mentioned the Goulburn bypass earlier. You're not be able to see the traffic across on the right hand side there. That's the traffic that's on the bypass. Now becomes the Windellama Road because that's the other side of this highway overpass is the turn off to Bungonia. So you're going to take the Mountain Ash Road if you want to go to Bungonia. As I said, there's a village there. Just outside the village is a spectacular look down into the Shoalhaven Valley. The dividend on here, as you can see, is 80. My motorcycle has cruise control, and I use it when I can, but you can only activate it when the bike is travelling at 80 kilometres an hour in top gear. So on the left-hand side there is the Bungonia Road, 20 Mountain Ash Road is called, 22 kilometres to Bungonia. About a kilometre up the road here is Brisbane Grove Road, and you get on the right-hand side here, it's called Brisbane Grove, and a further kilometre from that is the Goulburn Airport. No commercial flights there, only hobbyists. We're going to take the Brisbane Grove Road, so we're going to go right here at this intersection. Brisbane Grove Road goes for about 3 kilometres and connects with the Braidwood Road. So we're going south along here. Again, have a look at the state of the road. We've got the markings on the edges of the road, which are always handy, as I say. You've got the pickets, and you've got 9 markings down the centre of the road, all of which tends to indicate that perhaps the road gets a reasonable amount of use. You see these pickets that are bent over, idiots who come out here and do that. Well, they're not bent over as a result of an accident, I don't think, or somebody running into them, unless it's somebody who's done it deliberately or got out of their car and just sort of bent them over for the sake of it. And the annoying part about that is, aside from the cost that somebody's got to come out and either replace them or send some workmen out to straighten them, is that those pickets serve a purpose of saying, well, this is the edge of the road. You're a metre or so from the edge of the road, and there's the picket. So when you see that, you know that there's no more road. So they're an important safety feature. These fools who come out here and mess around with them, bend them over and whatever, so you can't see them, they are putting other people at risk. Now, none of that matters in daytime. We're talking about those things that exist because people drive at night as well. And the same way the headlights show you the edge of the road, but the more information you have about your position on the road and the state of the road and where it is and where's the edge of it and where's the gully and where's the ditch that you could end up in, the better you are. This is the Braidwood Road. If you go left, you would go to Braidwood in about, I'm going to say something like 80 kilometres, I think. Prior to that, you'll pass through Tirana, which is just a couple of k's up the road, and then you'll pass through Tarago, not Tarago like the car, same spelling, but you pronounce it Tarago. Before you get to Tarragona, going through Tarrani, you'll come to a little village called Lake Bathurst. There is a Lake Bathurst, but it's actually closer to Tarragona than it is to Lake Bathurst. See the sign there, it says 60 kilometres an hour. And you'll be happy to know that Goulburn is an RV-friendly town if you happen to own an RV. It's called Bourne's Bridge, and I'm driving over the Mulwaree River. Make a left-hand turn here on the intersection coming up. This is warning signs to tell you that there is a low bridge. Height of the bridge, maximum height of the bridge is 2.7 metres, and there are flashing lights which cost some ridiculous amount of money to install, and it was necessary to install those. See, they've just come on. Low bridge 2.7 metres, blah blah. Necessary to install those because a number of caravan drivers or people towing caravans attempted to pass under this bridge, and their caravan was taller than 2.7 metres, and so they lost the air conditioning unit off the top of it. But on top of that, it's quite a sharp bend, as you can see, so trying to manoeuvre a really long caravan around here is quite tricky. So it was necessary to install these flashing lights. I'm going left at this intersection and go up this road here, which is called Goulburn Road. It's a sort of bypass shortcut like to Canberra if you happen to be already in Goulburn and you don't want to go through the main street, so forth.